a player, you don't know that many major chords. We hang out and then never mean it.
Hi, welcome back to Sabertooth Pottery. Today's video is going to be about making mugs, and we're going to be going over different kinds of mugs, different shapes and stuff like that. And in our next video, we'll be discussing how to attach handles and how to make handles. If you like videos about pottery or are interested in tutorials on how to work with clay, I do videos at least once a week. My videos include how to wedge clay, how to throw. I will be doing videos on glazing and sculpture and hand building as well. If you're interested, go ahead and like and subscribe, and the little notification button as well if you want to get notifications on those videos. Making our mugs is going to be kind of similar to making our bowls, only we're going to be making a lot of different shapes and smaller shapes. And we might throw some bigger things too. In my previous video, we talked about throwing on a hump. We're gonna do that again today. I just want to encourage working throwing on a hump. You don't necessarily have to do it, but I just find it more time-saving and more efficient. Like throwing teacups and bowls, we're going to always start with a cylinder. And in today's video, I'm going to try to also encourage you to open your clay piece without using the rounded rib tool. So that way you're gonna be using your hands to get the shape of the piece, and I'll be talking about how we do that. Before we start, I'd like to go over what tools we're going to need. You're going to need your bucket, your large sponge, your small sponge, your wooden knife tool, your flat bottom wooden rib tool, your metal rib, and your wire tools. So if you're ready and you have everything, let's go ahead and get started. So once you have your amount of clay sectioned off at the top and centered, you can go ahead and start opening it up. And we're going to make our first mug. So one of the things I like to do is kind of make this donut shape, because when I'm going to be pulling this up, I'm going to pull it directly into the shape that I want and not a cylinder first. So you don't have to do it this way. You could start with the cylinder first if you prefer. I just wanted to teach you this way because this is how I do it. I find it's a lot easier to get the shape you want. Just for me. It's not that way for everybody. I want to throw a nice, wide, kind of shallow mug or teacup, I guess. It's very large, so I don't know if you'd call it a teacup, but nice and shallow. Kind of teacup shaped. And again, to get some more curve here, I'm going to have my inside finger lower and just kind of guide my thumb up. I had this idea of making this really shallow kind of wide mouth teacup mug, which essentially it's a bowl, but I like to actually drink out of bowls because I'm a weirdo like that. But I'm going to be putting a handle on this. So that's it. We already got the shape that we want here. I want to make a foot for it real quick. I'm going to take the chamois and kind of shape up the foot a little bit. It doesn't matter how perfect it is because that's the part you're going to be trimming later, but I want it to have the right slant to it. Okay. I'm going to clean up my hands a little bit. So remember to take it off and make this diamond shape with our hands here. You have our two middle fingers and our two index fingers together. And you just kind of go under the piece and just kind of go at an angle. Or if you feel like it's not going at an angle, you can try pulling directly up as well. Let's get ourselves some more clay. So for this one, I want a little bit more clay, because I'm going to make a bigger cup, bigger mug. So this one I'm going to throw more cylindrical shaped. And remember not to go down too far, because you want a bottom to your piece. So with smaller things, it's easier for me to use these two fingers until it gets too tall that I can't do it anymore, just to pull up the first part of it, or to do the top part. But you can use the traditional way, which I showed you in our cylinder throwing video, to pull up your cylinder as well. Alright, just pull up a little bit more. I want my walls to be a little bit more thin. So this trick here, I'm making the cylinder more narrow, and what you can do is with your hands at the top, very gently, just squeeze inwards. My hands are like this, and I'm just gently squeezing inwards, and this is going to make the top more narrow. And the reason you want to do that is because when you go down to the bottom and do the same thing and bring your hands up, if you did not make the top more narrow first, this shape would go outwards. So that's going to stop it from going outwards. So here's a nice little narrow cylinder. I'm just going to make sure everything's the same thickness. Got water out of the bottom. Now this is the easy part. So the whole reason I got it more narrow like that is because I want the bottom to be really narrow, and I'm going to have the top be wide. So to do that, like you can do with either your flat bottomed rib tool, you can have it at an angle and use your finger to push against the wall and line it up against this. Or what I do is use my hand. So I put my finger there instead. With my middle finger, I'm slowly guiding it up this part of my index finger, and it's gonna follow that shape. Or we can use our rib tool. So this is a nice, beautiful, wide mouth mug, kind of like a cone shape. I'm gonna clean it up with the sponge and make us a bottom to trim later. And for this part, I want to use my wooden knife tool. I'm gonna kind of come in and undercut it just a bit. Just a little bit. I'm gonna go in with my wire tool. Okay, there's one. We got our cone shape. We got our little flat kind of teacup shape. For this next one, I want even more clay. This is gonna be a big mug. Go ahead and open up your clay up and make your cylinder. Bring it up nice and high, but make sure you don't get your walls too thin, otherwise it's gonna flop on you. And again, we're gonna make the top a little bit more narrow. And we're gonna push the cylinder up. Okay, this is where things get a little tricky. So we're gonna go in, we're gonna open up our clay again. We're gonna make like a round shape. So get your arm kind of wet because you're gonna be sticking your hand in there and you don't want the clay to stick to you. So go ahead and start pushing outwards from the inside and pulling up just like that. That's about as much as you want to do. And then this inside part, you're just gonna pinch slightly to kind of continue that shape. And then you're gonna do the same to the top half. So you have like this kind of double bubble shape. You can go in and correct it a little bit if it's not exactly to your liking. This big double bubble shape. So that's a huge mug. Well, I don't know. Some of you might really like coffee or tea, but that is more coffee than I will have. So go ahead and clean it up. With your foot, undercut just a bit. Have an easier time getting your wire tool in there. Put a little water in there, see if that helps. And pull through. Got our double bubble mug. Recenter your clay. This one you can use like a medium amount of clay. So not as small as the first piece and not as big as the last piece. It's about that much. Kind of like what would fit in the palm of your hand there. Make sure that's nice and center. And then go ahead and make your cylinder. Remember to always compress your bottom. This one's going to be a little tricky. We're going to, for the bottom here, we're going to use our index finger again to guide the bottom shape just a little bit, about to your middle knuckle, like that. And if it's not straight enough for you, you can go in with your wooden rib tool at a nice angle. Get that really nice crisp slant in there. And then for the top, you can use your metal tool to, or you can use your rib tool to get a nice straight cylinder wall. I'm going to do that one more time just to kind of get the inside the same. Pull up. Nice and thick. I want this one to be really thin. So the inside looks like the outside. And just to make sure we kept our shape, I'm going to go one more time. Make sure the bottom is that nice slant. And then instead of keeping this straight part here, I want it to go out just a little bit. So I'm going to slant the rib tool just a bit and guide the wall. I don't like this perfect like cylinder shape, so I kind of gave it a bit as a slant. And as I go to trim it after, we can give it even more of an exaggerated slant. Just clean it up a bit. Just making sure everything's nice and even before I take it off. So I know that was a little fast paced. I hope you were able to keep up with the stuff that I was spilling out. If you feel like I went too fast or you missed something or I missed something, please go ahead and comment down below and I'll try to answer those and hopefully make another video where I can clarify on what I missed or what I need to go over more. As always, thanks for watching my channel, and in our next video we're going to talk about how to put the handles on the mugs that we made today. So stay tuned. Bye! Welcome back to Sabertooth Pottery. Today I'm like totally seen. Just kidding, my hair is too shiny to be seen. For reals now! If you're interested... Here we go again. If you're interested... I can't talk. What? We're talking about mugs. That's what we're talking about. And that's not really hard to talk about, so I don't know what the big deal is. I'm having a bad day. I don't know. I'm PMSing. I probably am PMSing. That's probably what it is. This video is gonna be. Hi, welcome back to Sabertooth Pottery. Today's video, we're going to be talking about. Hi, welcome back to Sabertooth Pottery. We're going to be talking about throwing mugs on a hump today. And if you don't know what a hump is, then... Okay. Use one of those. Hi, welcome back to Sabertooth Potteries. Just use one of them. Hi, welcome back to Sabertooth Pottery. Today we're going to be talking about throwing mugs. Like in our last video when we were throwing teacups on a hump, today we're also going to be throwing on a hump. And if you don't know what throwing on a hump is, then please watch the previous video. Before we start, as usual, and we're going to throw on a hump. And if you don't know what throwing on a hump is, well then right here I will link a video on how to throw on a hump. Yay, we said hump like 5 times. Hi, welcome back to Sabertooth Pottery. Today's video we're going to discuss throwing mugs. I just give up. Bye!
I don't need you here to